John Henley's resignation is a firestorm for the Prime Minister for many, many reasons. But I think the most critical is because he's not the resigning type. He's a boring defence secretary, more worried about catching the beans so that we can protect our country and safeguard this nation from the constantly changing political and economical environment we live in, that is getting more and more hostile to small to medium nations. And Britain, we are not this great giant we were back in the 80s when we could launch fleets across to the Falklands. Our navy is a shell of itself, our defence is falling apart, and it is the penny pinching of people like the Prime Minister who can't force his departments to do their job for the defence of our nation that is causing the problem. Keir Starmer has lost control of the country when someone like John Henley, not someone on the resignation list, not someone who's prone for politics, a genuinely prayers, decent, safe hands for our defence contractors to be stood in. And that has failed because of the Treasury, because that cunt Ed Miliband has said he's not reducing $1 billion off of his budget. It is that level of lack of political control of his party that spells the absolute doom of Keir Starmer's government. He is done. He's finished. He's finito. It is over. I am, as always, John, Sean, or 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐫.
I'm Chris.
And this is the Blue Collar Workers, where politics matters to you. Today, as you can probably guess, I am dealing with the firestorm that is the Defence Secretary resignation and how it should concern absolutely every Briton, because he's not a political animal. He's not somebody who's looking for a leadership role. As far as we can tell, he wasn't prone to this kind of behaviour. He was somebody who you could trust to hold down the job and get it done. And if he's resigning, this tells you the deep fucking problem we have in the Labour Party government right now. I mean, most people hear the Defence Secretary has resigned and they think it's another Westminster drama. But this really isn't about Westminster drama. As I said, John Henley isn't the kind of resigning type people. He's not an up your quit. He quit because he couldn't fulfil the obligation his office laid at his feet because of the penny pinching and infighting of his own party. Thoughts, Chris?
Well, when he was basically a stable foothold.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is literally just due to Starmer's lack of leadership.
Complete lack of leadership, complete lack of strength.
Has forced somebody which did have the hold of things to turn and go, nope, done.
Yeah. Because one, it's the right thing for him to do. Moral imperatives are very hard to find in modern politics now. Back in John Major's day, falling on your sword was the norm. Today it's not. And that's scary.
Dodge the sword.
dodge all responsibility, blame someone else, fire an underling like the McSweeney. And we're going to circle back later on the podcast about how McSweeney is now worming his way back into the danger control of the Prime Minister.
Oh, for fuck's
sake. No. He's on the phone apparently to him all the fucking time because of the amount of challenges to his leadership. The person that was literally kicked out the door to save the Prime Minister's job is now on the phone to him all the time. We'll get to that later on. When people respond for defending the country, walk away, the question isn't who replaces them. The question is, why did they leave? And that is a very critical conversation. This isn't somebody looking for a promotion to become the Prime Minister. Unlike that cretin Ed Miliband who's giving money and energy advice to Andy Burnham because he wants to be the Chancellor.
Oh, we can fuck off.
Yeah? Your next favourite friend is Ed Miliband, mate.
No.
He's the Prince of Cuts,
I'd rather have Angela fucking Rayner as Chancellor than fucking Ed Miliband.
Yeah, well, you better keep Starmer then. Because if Starmer goes, no one wants her. Well, no one wants her as Chancellor anyway. But there is the prospects that Ed Miliband might end up becoming our next Chancellor. And this is the horrible state Britain's politics is in right now. We're second guessing every role that we have. Because we're living through one of the most unstable periods in decades, war in Europe, tensions in the Middle East, growing competitions between major powers, China, America, right now. And right in the middle of all this, Britain's Defence Secretary resigns. It's not a story people should ignore or be comfortable with. in any way, shape or form. And I really think that is more serious than the British public genuinely taking it. Because, I mean, if you look at the BBC and the other news rags out there that I wouldn't wipe a Rottweiler's fucking arse with, they're taking it as, oh, it's another resignation. It's not. This isn't someone like some minor fucking role. This isn't the health secretary, West Steering, or Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, running back to save Labour. Labour, save us! The Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi. This is the fucking defence secretary. That's a senior part. That's a rocky ship that Keir Starmer's on. I think that's more eye-opening than people giving it credit. What do you think about how the country's not paying attention to it?
Well, Starmer's just made an absolute balls up of everything.
Oh, he's
anyway.
fucked. He's fucked. On the phone to McSweeney isn't going to save him because of a defence secretary. And it wasn't the only one, was it? It was the defence secretary, and then the armed forces minister went as well. Two of the motherfuckers in one day.
Where they keep turning around and raising taxes every frigging 10 days, or putting a new tax on, or frigging whatever. People are starting to hand in their notices left, right, and side and centre, and calling for Starmer's resignation.
Well, no. Let's be fair. John Henley hasn't done that. He hasn't called for
others have. Yeah.
The outgoing defence secretary has not called for the Prime Minister's resignation.
The current resignations hasn't asked for that, but previous ones have.
Oh yeah, because they've got political office. Yeah. This is why it's so important in the conversation that the man leaving isn't asking for the Prime Minister's resignation.
He's literally just turning and going, this is a shit show, and I'm
off.
I'm off.
I can't keep the promises to the MOD.
You're asking me to defend this country whilst you keep cutting my fucking budget and then giving it to fucking stupid Dead Miliband over there. Yeah? For net zero fucking bollocks, which people have already turned around and said to achieve it by 2030 is not realistic, let alone 2050.
Remember, Ed Miliband's opposition opinions are here, and we're coming down here on the country's toleration of him. And like, Ed Miliband, the future Chancellor, over our dead fucking body. I mean, seriously, Britain, you have to look at this sometimes and wonder how someone like Ed Miliband can be up here and then slide down here.
I wonder what his take on the new deal that we just struck with Japan.
Well, you know what? Fuck him. I'm glad we've got these incoming microreactors.
Yeah.
We are going to get
that is one positive that's coming in.
We've got some good news today.
Yeah.
It's not all doom and gloom from Sean and Chris.
We're going to cover that in a bit after we finish ranting about
fucking fuck ups. I mean, the defence secretary and the armed forces. Why?
I understand. Obviously, the defence secretary every now and again, obviously
making noise about spending. That's his job.
Noise about spending and whatnot, and then eventually at some point retiring, which. Literally, it's understandable because obviously you get to an age you're like, I've had enough now, I can't be dealing with stress. So you're retiring past the buck. But I don't think it's been a retirement.
No, it was motherfucker. We need money to defend this country.
I think it's more a case of fact you're causing me too much bloody stress. I'm getting close to retirement age. I'm out. I'm out.
No, he's only in his 50s.
He's only in his 50s, and he's saying he's out. That's how much stress you are putting on this country, Starmer. The defence secretary is turning and going, no, I'm out. And he's only in his 50s. He should be able to turn around and turn.
I'm pretty sure he's in his 50s. I'm just going to double check.
I felt like he ain't even close to retirement age.
66.
66. Oh, no, he's not far off it.
Not far. I've had enough. I'm off.
I was going to serve until the time was needed, but you're causing me far too much stress. Bye-bye.
I genuinely thought he was only in his 50s. Because he looks really healthy for a defence secretary.
That's because of the fact he was good at his job.
Probably was.
Yeah. If you could turn around and look at the defence secretary and go, he looks pretty together despite being in his 60s.
Yeah.
That means...
John Henley, my respects to you. My apologies, outgoing defence secretary, you know.
The fact that he looked younger than what he is says he had it under control.
The first duty, the absolute first duty of government, as per ad nauseam from the ancient times, is keeping its citizens safe. Everything else comes after that. Everything else. including the welfare bill, including the ballooning pension pots that we need to get a handle on. Because people talk about ballooning benefits, but they don't want to talk about that the bulk of that is our pension pots. Yeah? We have too many elderly claiming too much pensions whilst we have fucking an underdeveloped industry that can't really support it. It's fucking absurd. I think one reason people switch off when defence comes up is because they feel distant. Exactly. It's that's the point I'm trying to get at. Is the defence community seems distant in a nuclear arms nation. But we have seen Russia violating our fucking airspace almost on a monthly basis. This is not some minor kind of problem. An ageing power called Russia has been taking the piss in the north of British waters, in the Scottish waters.
I don't think it helps with the press obviously bigging up the frigging illegal immigration.
That too. I mean, to be fair, again, illegal immigration is such a drop in our country's problems.
Yeah, but it's the one that's consistently consistently mentioned. So couple that with Russia being Russia overstepping their bounds, and then the press turn around and just rubbing the immigration problem into the ground, and you wonder why the public has gone nah.
But the defence is really about stability. It's about making sure that the British people are safe. It's not tanks, it's not warships, it's not military bases. Is Britain safe? And the answer to that is no. You only notice defence when it fails. And when it fails, cities burn. People die.
Well, they're saying that they did get a shadow freight. They boarded one.
Boarding Russia's illegal fleet
Shadow
fleet is a dime a dozen. Everyone's doing it. And you're doing that under the protection of the American umbrella at the moment. And that's another thing. The reason I say Britain needs to concentrate on its defence spending and cut the benefit bias on the side of the pension, because there's too many fucking pensioners. Get half the pensioners who are in there who are just claiming pensions back into part-time work. Get them back. Give incentives to get them back into part-time work. You will cut the fucking pension pot. That's what you need to do. Or even raise the pension age, regardless whether it upsets people. Because you need the fucking money to plunge into a defence system to protect these pensioners and old people when Russia tries to fuck around. And if migration is this such great demon as the right make it out to be, and it really isn't, you'll need your defence.
There is one way to stop the Russia prying around.
Start retesting nuclear weapons.
No, it's what we've been talking about the past couple of podcasts.
I know.
Yeah. Drill in the north, make a deal with the Swedes, get back into the EU market, get a backup supply with Russia, bring them into the EU market as well. Bang, that solves your Russia issue.
It does.
Because you're bringing them in as a business partner. So when they're business partners, they're not going to fuck around. The
problem being is that most of our politicians, Chris, are still very much the neoliberals welded to American power, still kissing Israel's ass.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Israel could go stick its head up its own ass. America's falling the frigging apart. We need to take care of ourselves, which means getting back in the EU market, turn around, drilling in the north, making a deal with the Swedes, and turn around and getting a backup with Russia, because then we can then turn around and get a trade route from the EU all the way to Japan and China, which will then turn around and make all our lives easier. And I'm sorry, but the Middle East and USA, you can...
Yeah, I completely agree. When defence works, nobody worries. Nothing happens. Everything's working. When defence fails, everything notices it. And we are on the cusp, Britain, if we are to believe John Henley and what he's been saying, we are on the cusp of Britain's deterrents no longer effectively working as well as they should. And that could cost lives. Now, some listeners might say Britain has a bigger problem right now, like housing, the NHS, the cost of living. And I absolutely agree with you on that. And I do. But the problem being is, once you don't have a defence, you're not dictating how your country operates.
No
if you
defence
can't,
equals no housing.
You've got to understand, Britain could turn into a war zone because of its geopolitical positions on places like Russia, the Middle East, etc., just by a lack of defence spending. And that's why it's so fucking critical to start talking about this, to start getting this in the public sphere, because it's quite terrifying when you look at it. They're all important, but defence is so high that it trumps all of these problems. Because you can live, we're currently living in all of these problems. These NHS problems, these living crisis problems, we are still living in them, yeah? We're still living in the problems of housing. What we won't be doing is living if fucking defence falls apart.
No, I don't want defence to fall apart.
Because every public service depends on living in a secure and stable country first. Okay?
And all those things people keep ranting on about, all the conspiracy theories, if you believe them.
You don't need to be conspiracy theories. Standard common sense. You don't have to defend, someone else takes it from you.
It just inspired the people to turn around, if it is even remotely true, of the ones that say, oh, they're just waiting for the correct time before they cause a civil war.
Let's take a benign situation. Let's say the British defences collapse so badly that Europe, Germany and France have to intervene. Chris doesn't want to be forcibly reintegrated into Europe, but that could happen. For Europe to prevent its flank from being exposed, to give Russia, China or whoever foul players towards Europe, a beachhead in Europe, in Britain, because Britain's defences have collapsed. Don't even think that wouldn't be in the national interest. Is it in the national interest of the French and Germans to prevent Britain becoming an offshore platform for Russia and China? Yes. So that's the most benign scenario.
I even think America would get off his ass if that was potential.
No, this is Trump. That is the most nihilist motherfucker I've ever met. He is so self-centered, I don't think he'd come to save us. He's the only president I genuinely think is a cunt. And I mean, a barefaced would not. He barely cares about anything in his own family, Chris. He's fallen out with his own daughter, Ivanka, who everyone knows was his golden child in his first fucking term.
Are you really surprised with the fact that of some of the comments he said about her?
What I'm trying to get at is that Donald Trump is willing to war with his own family. That tells you how much he gives a fuck about America, let alone America's needed allies.
Any other president would be turning around and jumping on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any other president would be going fucking mental.
I'm not even frigging China or Russia, frigging just on that little bit of island. Absolutely not.
What interests me isn't just the resignation itself. It's what the resignation tells us. Was there a disagreement behind the scenes? I don't think that was the case. Was there frustration over spending? Absolutely the issue. Was there concerns about Britain's military readiness? That has been a concern for more than a fucking decade. Every other general has been screaming about fucking Britain's readiness. Resignations don't usually tell us the whole story. They tell you what the real story begins. So, I mean, for me, I have to sit here and ask, and we know that John Henley isn't some kind of mass resignation monkey. Like, he wasn't part of any of the factionisms that are going on with Andy Burnham, West Steering.
Hence the reason why we need to know the reason why he resigned.
It's spending. It has to be spending. There's no other logical rationality behind it.
Yes.
I don't think there's a behind the scenes argument. He was normally considered a Keir Starmer loyalist. And you know how few there are of those left.
If he was meant to be one of those and he's turned around and he's resigned.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this tells you a great deal. This is why I think that Keir Starmer's government is more than on its knees. It's fucked. We are looking in the last days of Keir Starmer's government. If you can't keep a loyalist defence secretary, not prone to resignation, prone to digging his feet in and carrying on the weight, known to being a safe pair of hands,
known to have control of the reins regardless, and he turns around and goes, no, done.
I mean, the real question we're coming is Britain spending enough on defence for the world we're now living in, not the world we want? And I believe our expectations are here and our spending is way down here. And we need to reverse that and go up considerably. And if that means we have to start cutting things, then we have to start cutting things. Okay? And I think the first thing we should start cutting, and I say this quite openly, is the rights to corporate dodging taxes. all those tax evasions, all those lawful, legal loopholes. Cut them, get our taxes back.
Reform the tax system.
Reform the fucking tax system. Me and Chris have been hollowing about this. We're now coming close to the end of season 3 from season 1. I think it was like our second episode we were talking about. Second episode. Fix the taxes, fix Britain. It's not that complicated a fucking mantra in these days.
But they don't want to, because of the fact they don't want to lose the loopholes.
And the loopholes feed their friends, and their friends give them jobs when they get out of politics. That's another thing. We should ban politicians from having second jobs in business. It should be banned for politicians to be allowed certain jobs. Like if you're the defence secretary, you cannot move into the defence industry for 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying? There should be
because otherwise you'll be just set, whilst your defence secretary, just be lining everything up ready for you to just transition and make your life easier.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think we need some clarity laws. If you're in the health services, you cannot join a health business for 10 years. Or something like that. Something that starts separating the scummy behaviour that politicians have been engaging in Britain for decades. What does this tell us about Britain's ability to defend itself? The key is the focus on capacity, readiness, priority, not fear. So is Britain actually prepared for a world we're living in today? Because the world has changed dramatically over the last few years. And the defence policy built for yesterday's world absolutely has no bearing on today. Drone warfare has vastly fucking changed the world. We're watching a depleted, battered, damaged Ukraine actually holding Russia from taking their country. You know, this was the lion's share of the old Soviet Union that made Germany, France, and Britain shit itself in the 1980s. I mean, this was Russia. 1980s Russia would have just eyeballed anybody, including America, and did regularly. And now the paper tiger is being stopped by Ukraine. Now, some of that has to do with the Ukrainians' grit. Let's give no sugarcoating there. And some of it's to do with the advancement of Ukrainian drone technology, which has vastly outstripped many people think. And if we are seeing such an advance, we need to keep pace with that kind of advance. Anti-drone technology, anti-drone defences with our new laser turrets, which we need to mass produce, which we are not mass producing, which is a scary fucking place to be in.
We get those laser turrets and those laser tanks straight up and down.
Oh, I know.
Bear in mind, these laser tanks, I remember you saying in previous ones, can actually combat the drone warfare.
In theory, they can. That's the point. We haven't even had the tests to test the theories. And
I'll be getting those tests done straight a solid way. I want to be one against to defend against drone warfare.
I know. I mean, we've got war in the Ukraine, the Middle Eastern crisis, cyber attacks going everywhere, growing geopolitical competition. People often assume peace is a default setting. But history tells us stability requires consistent work and a large fucking army. And Britain, our army can't fit in a coffee cup. We used to be one of the greatest fucking naval powers in the world. Our navy is disintegrating.
We need to reinforce the navy.
Like, that was our steel wall, for fuck's sake. Yeah, you could argue we don't need a large army because we're an island and we've got a navy. Your navy's falling apart, for fuck's sake.
I say, if you got the strong navy, that means you could then turn around and have a decent air force upon those navy ships, and bang.
Britain's air force needs to be here.
Yeah.
Britain's fucking navy needs to be here, and everything is under my fucking table. Yeah? We need it up here, taller than us as a country, and it's all under the fucking table. The whole fucking thing.
Navy there. Air Force just underneath it, so we could turn around and launch off the ships.
The army can be small. The army can be small.
You turn around and upgrade the army with the drone warfare and the laser turrets and tanks. All for your drone control, for fuck's sake. You could turn around and sit in your own bloody bedroom at home being a frigging goddamn army cadet.
Yeah, I'd want the discipline for them to use those fucking weapons, mate. I'm not saying you're wrong, Chris. I'm saying I think I didn't want them to.
Bear in mind, there will be absolutely strict ass mental testing, because I'm not having some woke dweeb sat there going, "Oh, he's okay, he can live. Oh, I don't like him due to the colour of his hair." Just simple, straight facts. You're causing harm, you're gone.
Peace isn't something you achieve once, it's something you maintain as a society. And you have to keep maintaining
Something you
it.
build to and consistently uphold.
So when people hear defence spending, what are we actually talking about? Most people think tanks, jets and ships, which is part of it, but it's also training, recruitment, equipment maintenance, cyber defence, intelligence. And military isn't just a weapon, it's people, planning and preparation. I mean, and I know some listeners will disagree with spending billions on defence, and that's a fair question. But if you don't, someone else is dictating your country's defence, and therefore they're dictating the direction of your civility and your society and what your politicians can and can't say.
Without proper defence, you're only reacting, not proacting.
Exactly. And I mean, it's truthfully, what kind of Britain do you want to be? I mean, do you want to be a vassal state of America? Because
Absolutely not.
that's basically where you're looking at. Or a vassal state of Europe. Make Chris turn into a horrible green giant. Hulk, go! My good noble friend Count Deadlius fucking turning into an absolute monster at the very mentioning that we could be a European vassal. And if we don't fix our defence, that's what will happen. Someone will do it for us. And then they will tell you what you can and can't do.
I ain't having that. We frigging left the frigging EU because of what Brussels was trying to do with that.
Look upon our history. When the Normans invaded, they replaced all of our noble lords who controlled our armies and therefore dictated the rules. When the Saxons did the same to us Celts, same thing. When the Romans did it to my ancestors, the Picts and the Iceni and the other Bronze Age societies, same thing. If you want to maintain your lifestyle and how you choose it, you have to keep your defence spending above everything fucking else. And that might be painful. There might be some painful choices as you go down that, but at least then you're still the one making those choices.
You're still the one in control.
Absolutely. I mean, if we zoom out for a moment, because this conversation isn't really about one defence secretary anymore. It's about how society perceives the defence of what it does. When that defence wall collapses, your entire life changes. Whether you're a comfortable banker making 300 fucking grand a year in London, or whether you're some blue collar fuckers like us, defence collapses, it affects absolutely everybody. And this is a conversation that needs to be had. We're not a global power anymore. We need to acknowledge that. But we are capable of projecting power if we're smart about it. And if we maintain what we've got.
I reckon we were capable of becoming a global power again. But it does involve work and self-investment.
Britain used to always be able to punch above its weight. I think we have now reached that point, Chris, where we're not punching above our weight.
We need to rebuild so we can punch above our weight again.
Punching above our weight is how Britain got to be a great nation. That's how Great Britain was born.
We're small but mighty.
Yeah. We sometimes talk like a superpower whilst budgeting like we're a medium-sized power. But we're not even budgeting for medium-sized anymore. Do you understand? Talk like a superpower, act like a medium power. But we're not acting like a medium power. You fuck up defence, you fuck up everything. And even though Chris is going to move on to some good news involving the micro-nuclear reactors, they will absolutely disintegrate. If Europe wanted to keep Britain subservient, it would offshore all of our power systems, all of our water systems, and stop us building nuclear reactors. Okay? I don't want that. Chris doesn't want that. No one wants to be a vassal state. Britain might be still a vassal state to America if we're talking from post-Second World War society, but that's starting to fall apart. Donald Trump is doing a fantastic job of alienating everyone in Europe. I leave you with a very cautious position. If you don't defend and spend on defence and uphold the money, as I have a history degree, every society in history that has abandoned its defence for thousands of years has given those defences to someone else. And I'm not a doomsinger. I'm just repeating what history has shown us. If you want to keep your country on the path, trajectory, the liberal democracy, the socially acceptable debating, disagreeing, you need to pay your defence bills. But that's what I've got for me today. I mean, personally, I think the energy infrastructure is very important. I'd probably put that just under defence spending. I think the our cybersecurity is also stable. Defence would protect your food supply chains. It defends your power ports and your power grids. And we are seeing people like Russia attack power grids more and more often. It's a legitimate target in much reduced Russian military mindset. And they are the local aggressor. We can't ignore that, whether you like it or not. Now, me and Chris would like to turn them into business partners. You know, solve that problem by actually trading with the Russians, treating them like fucking fair partners again. Because, let's be fair, we don't because of America. I mean, the war in the Ukraine, when you go back to all the beginning, was done by a psyop. There's no way of being able to deny it.
Trying to turn Ukraine into a NATO base.
Yeah, right on the border of Russia.
And you wonder why Russia turned around and got aggressive.
Like, we know why Russia invaded. It's not to any of the bollocks that Western political leaders tell you. It's because NATO was about to be on Russia's fucking border. Right on the border. We're not meaning the small borders that Poland's got with them. We're not meaning the small borders that the Scandinavians have got that are really mountainous. It's really easy for them to defend. We're talking a couple of thousand fucking mile borders. And the Russians are like, yeah, you know what? Fuck no. Yeah? Because if I was France and I had fucking hostile Germany with that much border beside me, you're damn right I'd have a problem with somebody fucking like Hitler taking over, like they did in the Second World War. Yeah? Let's give you an example, a real world example of history, of the French and the Germans having a fucking dispute about a massive land border without trade, commerce, and good relations. Everything stems from trade. We open up business with Russia, we probably end the war in Ukraine. And we need to start seriously thinking. And Donald Trump is an unreliable ally. Britain, Europe, completely worthless.
America's imploding, slowly but surely.
The Arab states that pour fucking billies into America on a yearly basis, spend their precious resource oil in petrodollars. They've been abandoned. Fucking abandoned by the Americans. The defence contract is worth dog shit. Absolute dog shit. So if you think that people who are pouring billions into a country can't get a defence contract, what do you think we Europeans are doing? That's my rant for the defence today. Over to Chris's side.
I've got 2 points. One, first is going to be obviously a lovely little boost, a good bit of good news. Obviously,
we could use it.
Rolls-Royce strikes nuclear deal with Japan.
Whoop, whoop.
So I think that's an absolutely fantastic bit of thing, because it involves developing our energy infrastructure to a more stable position for those that would like to drive electric cars everywhere.
They're becoming a thing, whether we like it or not. Electric cars are a thing.
Obviously, for us to maintain that growth within the electrical car department, we're going to need sustainable fuel. And mini nuclear reactors is the way forward, as well as obviously solar panels and everything else with strategic placement. As I've said in previous ones, use town centre rooftops. Absolutely fantastic place because of the fact you're not affecting the wildlife in the surrounding area, and it's not going to be an eyesore because it's on top of roofs. Back to the lovely thing. Let's go back to the start. Yeah, Britain will join forces with Japan to build mini nuclear reactors capable of powering factories, data centres and military bases. Ties in with the defence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Japan's Prime Minister, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to butcher it. And I'm going to be honest, I don't even know how to even start pronouncing that.
The Japanese, Sana Takachi. Takachi.
And Sir Keir Starmer will sign an agreement at the ceremony in Downing Street on Sunday as part of a push to strengthen energy cooperation between Tokyo and London. The tie will lead to British engineering giant Rolls-Royce becoming local, working with the National Nuclear Laboratory and its Japanese counterpart to develop advanced modular reactors, AMRs, and the fuel needed to power them, the Telegraph can disclose. Japan has been testing a high-temperature gas-cooled reactor for decades, but the technology remains unproven commercially. Under the partnership, the Japan Atomic Energy Agency will share its extensive safety data with Rolls-Royce to help the company build a demonstration AMR in the UK by mid-2030s. Step in the right direction.
As long as we fucking make it to the 2030s, the way the fucking defence spending.
Rolls-Royce is understood to have led the discussions with the government about potential support that could eventually include taxpayer-backed loans, debt financing, and direct investments from the National Wealth Fund. The Japanese also have their own domestic program. It is hoped the tie-up will allow both countries to road test the technology together. I'm not going to lie, with how far Japan is with technology compared to us, this is only going to go positively. It comes as nuclear companies around the world race to the first to commercialise AMR technology. Chris,
I don't think we're going to get to you see, when you're talking about that, I don't think we're going to get to that AI tech. I think that bubble's going to pop first. I think because they're pouring billions and billions and billions into it, and I think the patience in the current geopolitical world is going to run out very, very quickly, and then that's what's going to cause the bubble to burst. I don't think that the AGI artificial intelligence is going to come online in this decade or even the next couple of decades.
No, regarding warfare, I'm on about people sat in a little control centre controlling the drones and everything else.
Oh, that's entirely possible.
Yeah. No, not AI driven. No, fuck no, that's Terminator. Absolutely not.
No. Terminator.
I'm not having the Terminator doomsday scenario, thank you very much. I'm not trying to safeguard John Connor or forgive whichever person it is that released a rebellion against the machines. Absolutely not.
Fucking hell. Could you imagine John Connor bursting through the door? I need the truth. Fuck no!
First I'll be going, have you got a weapon which you can one-shot the Terminators yet? No, then fuck off.
Chris, if he's here, I'm walking into the nukes. I don't want to see this new world. I'm going to take my coffee and walk straight into the fucking nuke hitting 𝐦𝐵𝐾, mate.
I'll just be like...
Take me out now.
If
it's a Mad Max survival, I might be interested. Yeah, Mad Max. If we're talking Terminator, I'm off. I'm not fighting fucking Terminators.
I'll fight Terminators as long as there's a one-shot gun, and then I'll gladly just walk into the vehicle, go, pew, 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 pew.
One-shot fucking Terminators. That's why they're called Terminators, you stupid cunt. That's why I'm like, no, John's checking out at the nukes. I'll be waiting in heaven for you at the reload point, Chris. I'm not fucking sticking around. I'm not sticking around for this game.
Chris Clutton, the group president of Rolls-Royce, said the deal between the UK and Japan marked a milestone moment that opened the door to industrial growth, skilled jobs, and energy security to our nations.
Well, that's all fucking important. Every single part of it.
So, in order to, it sort of ties in with his rant about, obviously, defence.
Hey, I don't rant all the time.
Yeah. In order to have sustainable defence, you need the system, the energy system to back it up.
Very brief moment. We have reached 2,400 subscribers. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined us up to this point. We are deeply appreciative, especially to our noble friend Count Deadliest, who has done an amazing job on TikTok, spreading the good news about our page. We deeply appreciate it. It has drawn a great deal of new acolytes to the angry blue-collar workers. We appreciate you, every single one of you. 2,400.
Nice.
Yeah. 400 since our last podcast, man. That's good. No, my apologies to him.
Right.
I thought good news was good.
One, as I'm reading a bit further down the article, due to the safety specs and everything else that are required for the mini nuclear reactors, they are almost meltdown proof.
Yeah, I don't know if there is such thing as an almost.
The reason I say almost is that there's always that room for error.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always that room for error, regardless how it comes about. There is that room for error. But the fact that they're deeming it that safe.
We will get into that kind of position on technology of nuclear anyway. Nuclear is now getting on. I mean, it's been around since the 30s. So we're doing really, really well.
And obviously they plan on demonstrating an AMR in the UK by the mid-2030s.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
That's not far away at all. So
yeah, I mean, you'll be old.
Just looking at it, that doesn't look very big at all.
No, I know. You'll be old. I'll probably be dead. But you'll be old.
What do you want? We'll be in our 50s.
Motherfucker, you think I'm going to make it to my 50s? I'm surprised I made it to my 30s, Chris.
You're going to make it to your 50s because of the fact if you don't make it to your 50s, I will resuscitate you over your fucking head.
You do not die before me.
My response would be, I'll slap you awake and go, you fucking dying at the same time, bitch.
Like I said, you got to carry my coffin, boy.
Also, the other lovely thing I'm going to discuss on after the lovely positiveness is a timeline of the 2026 Labour leadership crisis. It's basically started since early mid-May, obviously after the disastrous local election results, which puts Starmer under immediate pressure as over 95 Labour MPs call on him to resign or set out a departure timetable. That was in mid-May.
Jesus.
Yeah. Obviously, 14th of May, West Streeting resigned as Health Secretary, criticising Sarah's leadership, and obviously lined himself up for a leadership.
Oh, he's a scumbag. We know he's a scumbag.
Leadership election if one comes about. And obviously, Burnham announces he will contest the Macclesfield by-election, widely seen as a prelude to the leadership bid. Obviously, late May, multiple junior ministers and aides resign in protest as Starmer's direction, including Jess Phillips and others. Obviously, polling shows Starmer among the least popular UK Prime Ministers in modern history, worsening the internal pressure upon him.
I don't mean rude, but for him to beat Neville Chamberlain, which was I was eye-opening. I didn't even know he had.
Yeah.
I thought Neville Chamberlain couldn't be beaten as the worst Prime Minister in British history, but he has.
But
I mean, how the fuck has he beat him and Boris Johnson? One's the guy who surrendered fucking the Sudanland and then watched the Second World War start. The other one was Boris fucking Johnson.
The COVID disaster.
The Prince of COVID. Oh, don't worry, Brick. No, I've got it in hand.
Obviously, early June, the defence spending row exploded. Tensions escalate over the government's defence investment plan.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you do know that Keir Starmer's a Zionist and married to a Jew.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This might have some kind of karmic effect.
MPs warn Starmer that failing to increase defence spending will trigger resignations. Oh, look what's happened.
Ding, 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 ding.
Defence Secretary John Henley resigns, accusing Starmer of failing to commit the resources needed to keep the UK safe.
Yeah, not projection, safe.
Safe.
I mean, for someone who was a loyalist of Starmer, that's condemning.
Armed Forces Minister 𝐬𝐿 resigned hours later, deepening the crisis. A third MOD aide, Pamela Nash, also quit. So the Defence Secretary, Armed Force Minister, and an MOD aide all resigned. Damn. These resignations make the turning point where the crisis becomes existential.
Oh no, the Prime Minister's fucked.
Yeah.
I don't care how much of a survivalist he is. There's when you take in the May elections, Chris, when you take in the May elections and now this, it's terminal. His leadership bid is coming, he is not going to win it.
Yeah. Obviously, 12th of June, Starmer goes on the defensive in a BBC interview. Starmer says he will not walk away from his 2024 mandate. I think
you don't have a mandate, you fucked it.
I think you dropped that mandate the day you walked in the fucking door.
No, we gave him a couple of months. We did give him a couple of months of grace.
He will fight any leadership challenge. He acknowledges Labour had a very bad set of elections and must turn things around.
Chris, anybody who says they've got to turn things around, Liz Truss has said that. Boris Johnson said that at the end of his...
Head and lettuce.
Theresa May, you see the pattern? I've got to turn things around. Ding, 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 ding. Their career's dead. Once they've said that, their career's dead.
Mid-June, leadership maneuvering intensifies. Reporting highlights a growing list of potential challenges, including Andy Burnham, West Streeting, Angela Rayner, Shabina Mahood, David Lammy, Ed Miliband, and 𝐿𝐶𝐭. Burnham confirms on question time that he will challenge Starmer. If he wins Makerfield. Streeting is reporting to have enough MP support over the required 81 Ps to trigger a contest.
Andy Burnham's got it. He gets through if he makes it through Makerfield, we've got a leadership fight.
And obviously, as of the 14th of June, where it currently stands, Starmer remains Prime Minister and Labour leader. He says he will fight, not resign. The party is split into 3 blocks. MPs demanding Starmer go. MPs urging unity and no leadership contest. MPs preparing for a contest but waiting for Burnham's by-election result. The defence resignations have become the central catalyst for a potential challenge.
Absolutely. And I think people will need to understand that realistically, Andy Burnham... Now, my problem is I'm not 100% sure Andy Burnham's going to win the Makerfield. There's a lot going on in that thing. Every tiny little party inside the country restores. You know, I mentioned those crazy fucking bastards. Yeah. Restore with Rupert Lowe are throwing their hat in. Nigel Farage is there. The Conservatives are there. Labour's defending. There's Liberal Democrats are attacking. Green are attacking. It's a fucking swirlpool. So I don't have good money, politically speaking, that Andy's going to win. If he does, he's going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi that tries to rescue the Labour. And he might buy them a year, maybe 2.
Honestly, just based on that, obviously, lovely timeline, I've also done like a little profiles of the likely challengers to Keir Starmer as of June 2026. Frontrunner, Andy Burnham.
Yeah.
Current role, Mayor of Greater Manchester, Labour candidate in the Makerfield by-election. Status explicit challenger has said he will seek to oust Starmer if elected to Parliament. Political strengths, Britain's most popular politician according to polling.
He is. He's only about 8 points. Yeah. That isn't much, but he's not negative like every other fucker is.
Strong national profile from his mayoral leadership and post-cabinet experience. Seen as a unifying figure to Labour's soft left and northern MPs. Weaknesses / risk: must first win Makerfield to even enter Parliament.
Absolutely. And I'm not guaranteeing that. You see, as I've looked at the analytics of that, Chris, there is so much being chucked in at Makerfield.
Yeah.
I mean, Count Deadliest will like this. Count Binface is in the fucking running.
Oh my God.
And if you don't know who Count Binface is, you're not into politics. He's like the Raven Looney Party. He's very funny. You should look up, anybody should look up Count Binface.
That's the one with the cape, isn't it?
Cape, big helmet, the fucking work. Funny fucking person. You look at his manifesto, it's hilarious because he's not serious. He makes a joke at the elections. And I like that because our country should take something like that. But I think not in Makerfield. I think this is an really important by-election.
Critics say he has spent years outside Westminster and may struggle to command the PLP quickly. Why is viable? Burnham is the only challenger with a clear election base, national recognition, and a declaration intention to run.
And more importantly, he's liked.
Yeah. He's
+8. Everybody else is in the minuses. From Nigel Farage to the fucking right, even my leader, the fucking Liberal Democrat leader, is a minus, I think, 2 or 3. +8 is a fucking... Is like, that's how bad our politics is in Britain. Yeah? We're going after a politician who only has +8 leadership kind of score.
Second is West Streeting, the internal figure.
The fucking wank state. I don't like that man.
Current role, former health secretary, resigned in May. Status likely challenger, has pledged to run if any leadership race. Political strength, seen as an acolyte, media savvy, and one of Labour's strongest communicators. has significant support among MPs, enough to clear the nomination threshold, according to reports. Appeals to Labour's modernising wing. Weaknesses / risk, polarising among grassroots members. Critics say he lacks executive experience compared with Burnham. 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞 is already positioned as a main Westminster-based challenger if Burnham falters. Number 3, 𝐬𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐵𝐾, the defence hawk. Current role, former Armed Forces Minister, resigned over defence funding.
You see, he was one that was on the resignation list.
Yeah. Defence status possible challenger, has hinted he would join a leadership race. Political strengths, his resignation of defence spending has given him the credibility with MPs concerning about national security. Represents the party's most hawkish, security-focused wing. Weaknesses / risks, limited public profile compared to Burnham or Streeting. May struggle to build broad coalition within the party. 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐾 could become the stand bearer for MPs furious about Starmer's defence policy.
Yeah.
Number 4, Angela Rayner.
Your favourite.
The left lean but loyal option. Current role, former Deputy Prime Minister, status not currently running, has said she is not playing leadership football. Political strengths, strong grassroots following popular with Labour's left and working class base.
I've got those years.
Yeah.
Barring her tax fuck up, she was very, very working based.
She was going in the right direction. National name recognition and strong communication skills. Weakness / risk, has publicly rejected a leftward shift, signaling she may not want to lead a divided party. Her relationship with Starmer has been politically complex. Why is she still mentioned? If the contest becomes chaotic or fragmented, Rayner could emerge as a unity candidate.
You see, now the reason I think that she won't, I think she'll, if Andy makes it to office, she'll back him. Her and Ed Miliband, and they've got their own factions in the Labour Party. They could push through a large chunk of MPs backing Andy Burnham. This is why if the Andy Burnham train starts, it gets out of Makerfield. The Andy Burnham train gets out of Makerfield, it's over. Everybody else is a bit part, because Ed Miliband will jump on. I hate that man just like you do, but he's got factional allies. She will jump on board because she knows that she's seen as damaged goods because of all the tax stuff that went on. Those are 2 heavy hitters. Where steering will get run over. Run the fuck over.
I see how the field looks right now. Burnham is the most credible challenger if he wins Makerfield.
That's it. Yeah. Pull out of Makerfield. If he pulls out of Makerfield, I don't even think Keir Starmer can stand.
No.
I think he's going to collapse.
Streeting is the strongest Westminster-based contender
I
with
don't
clear
buy
intent.
That. I don't. He's deeply disliked.
𝐼𝐻 represents a defence-focused rebellion that triggered the crisis. Rayner is a wild card, not running now, but always a factor. I honestly reckon
if Andy doesn't make it, she'll stand and Ed will back her.
I reckon if Burnham pulls through Makerfield, I reckon Rayner would join his back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, because they're allies anyway. Yeah, they're political allies anyway.
I reckon she could end up being the Chancellor with Burnham.
That's not a bad thing, because she'd undo some of those tax fucking burdens on us and start moving them up to the corporates.
I reckon she would,
because she's left wing enough to say you fucking corporates aren't paying enough.
Yeah, because she's learned her mistake with the tax, so she knows that she's got something to prove.
She might not necessarily be Chancellor, because he might have to bring Ed Miliband onto that. And me and you would like her to be over them two. It's Rayner. We both agree, yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather him choose Rayner than Ed Miliband. Ed Miliband would fucking sink the freaking goddamn funds all into net fucking zero and collapse the country in under fucking 2 years.
That man needs a shovel put to the back of his head.
He would scrap that nuclear reactor shit straight off
the
bat.
No, he can't. He can't. The deal's made.
He would freaking he'll stick blockades in front of it so it delays it.
I'm telling you, he can't, because he doesn't have access to the ability. That deal is done and dusted. Relatively, we are now, since you've been reading about that deal deal was practically in the closing stages. If they're announcing a deal, they've done the paperwork, they've done the due diligence. There's no fuck ups. Japanese politicians and British politicians, to an extent, do not announce deals until they're done. Yeah. So this is why Miliband can't fuck with that. That's why that is positive news. That's been done and dusted. We're now waiting for the technical stuff to come through.
For them to build it and do a demonstration with them fully functioning, working one.
That I fully expect is in the pipeline as we speak. Like I said, Japanese and British politicians do not say we have a deal unless it's over the fucking finish line.
So going by this lovely summary, obviously Labour is in leadership crisis.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Starmer, you're going out the fucking door, whether you like it or not.
Keir Starmer's finished.
I think the most admirable thing for Starmer to do now is when the challenge comes about, is just to simply turn around and step the fuck down.
He won't. He's too pride.
Yeah, you need to stick your Zionistic frigging idealism up your own ass and step down and get out the fucking way.
He is now the problem. I don't think there's enough force in Parliament now, because of how factionised the Labour Party is, to force him to resign. I think if, look, to give you an example, if West Steering was to get run over early, not be able to develop the support, Angela, Ed, and many other, and the hawkish heavyweights all fall behind Andy, it'll be a freight train. And that might force Keir Starmer's loyalists to say, look, we better get out of the way, boss, for party unity. It requires Andy to pick up all the heavyweights, run Steering, because West Steering is never going to accept that. He is waiting for Andy because he wants to be seen as the magnanimous one. No, I don't think he has the numbers to trigger the election. He wants to be part of it when it happens. He doesn't have the 80. So West Steering is deeply unpopular. He won't quit. Andy will pick up all the heavies if he makes it out of Makerfield. He makes it out of Makerfield, it's steamroll time. Everybody's going to fall behind him.
He will pick up the rest of them.
Yeah. I think he can pick up Khan quite easily.
I reckon if he
makes a couple of spending. So he's like, from Andy's point of view, comes in, I'll sort out your spending. That's it. He's got the army defence guy on his back. Yeah, I'll deal with your defence. Yeah. I'll just fucking make the cuts, and I won't ask him. I'll fire people who disagree with me.
I reckon he might end up getting John Henley back if he gets back in. And
my suspicion is this. If Andy makes it out of Makerfield, that's a big fucking if at this point. Because as I told you, there's like a maelstrom going on.
It's almost as if everyone's like, if we could take Andy's spot, we get the chance.
Yeah. There is so much heat around Makerfield, that there is so much publicity because it's a prospecting Prime Minister, that everybody is paying attention to it. So every party and their dog. But if Andy pulls out the station, I think he's the Prime Minister. I genuinely think he's the Prime Minister, because the heavyweights will fall behind him to get their agendas across the table. And I think that is realistically, Britain, what you're looking at as a nation. Andy makes it out of Makersfield. That's the next Prime Minister for the next 2 years. Keir Starmer might have to be forced to stand down because of that. But we've come to the end of our podcast for today. I'm John, Sean, or 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐫, depends on who you're asking.
I'm Chris, hope you have a smashing day.
And this is your voice, your nation at the Blue Collar Workers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.